We're here at BlueCross and BlueShield, and we've got somebody that we haven't interviewed before, but boy, this is important stuff. Are you eating right? Are you putting the right food in your mouth, or what? Well, Jessica Hamby's with us, and she's a registered dietitian here at BlueCross and BlueShield, and you work with groups, and this is so exciting. Because I think dietitians are just not given the credit they need to be given in the whole healthcare realm.
Well, thank you.
I really do.
I don't either.
I used to work with dietitians years and years ago, and these guys and gals just do a fantastic job. So let's talk about at what age should we, what happens to us when we turn 55, for instance, to our bodies, food-wise?
Lots of things happen in our bodies as we age.
Yeah.
Lots of nutrients change as far as how much we need of each nutrient.
Yeah.
And our body functioning in some areas begins to not work as efficiently.
Yeah.
For example, vitamin D, we get that from the sun. But
Right.
as we age, that process of converting vitamin D in our body becomes less and less efficient. So it's very important for seniors to go to their doctor and have their vitamin D level checked to see if they're deficient and if they're converting the vitamin D from sunlight.
When they're taking their annual physical, they're going in for annual checkup. Does that normally happen when they do the blood test? Are they checking for those things?
No,
you do have to
ask.
You have to ask them, because a lot of now of health is we have to know what we're doing, don't we?
Right. Yes. You have to be a good consumer of your own health.
Yeah.
You have to be thinking proactively and be asking the right questions at the doctor's office.
Now, we get the vitamin D from the sun, but we don't go in the sun because the sun gives you skin cancer, so you got to stay out of the sun.
Yes.
So, at what age should you really start the vitamin D?
Well, first of all, you have to ask the doctor if you're even deficient in the first place.
Oh,
Some
okay.
seniors, maybe still are absorbing enough vitamin D, but it's just something to be thinking about as we age.
Okay.
That process of converting it from the sun into usable vitamin D in the body becomes less and less efficient. So it's just something to ask your doctor, hey, can you check my vitamin D, make sure I've got enough?
Okay,
and if you turn out low, then he can provide or recommend a supplement.
Over-the-counter supplement.
Over-the-counter. Sometimes they may do a prescription. It just depends.
Now, there's a calcium with D. Is that the vitamin D you're referring to?
That would be just as good. So I think it's more of an issue of just asking the doctor what particularly you're deficient in and how much supplementing you would need to do.
Okay, that's one thing. What is something else that we should be looking for?
Water. As we age, our taste acuity or our thirst acuity begins to decline.
You don't get as thirsty.
You don't get it. Well, you get as thirsty, you're just not noticing it. So seniors over 55, they may become dehydrated because they don't know that they're thirsty. So it's important for them to
How could you not know if you're thirsty?
That's a hormonal mechanism in the body that signals, I'm thirsty, I need to drink water, and that just begins to diminish with age.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, so it's important for seniors to put a little sticky note on the fridge, drink more water, or
How
always...
much water should someone drink?
At least 8 cups a day.
8-ounce cups?
8-ounce cups of water a day.
So 64 ounces a day.
Yeah, that would be a good goal, and you're getting fluid from other beverages like juice and milk and stuff like that. A little bit from coffee.
Tea?
Yes.
But not as much as you get from pure water.
Right. That's the most natural.
Okay, so you don't get as much liquid that you need for dehydration from coffee. So a guy or gal who's drinking 5 cups of coffee a day, they're not getting...
Well, coffee's still under research. There's some articles that say it dehydrates you, so it serves as a diuretic.
Yeah.
Others are arguing out there in the research that you're still getting a certain percentage, but how much, we don't really know. What I would do is just say discount the coffee that you drink as part of your fluid allowance for the day. Just go ahead and count that out, and then count your water or your hydrating fluids from all the other beverages.
What about real food?
I'm
talking steak, potatoes, French fries.
There's a very small percentage of fluid or water that comes from your food. It does contribute, but again, if you're trying to have a goal for the day, I would exclude
64 ounces.
Yeah, I'd exclude the steak and the coffee, and then count up everything else that you have.
But what about now? As a dietitian, you're going to say, okay, here's the kind of foods you should be. You should be eating more vegetables. You should be eating more fruits. Is it okay to still, red meat, chicken, fish?
Yes.
What's your recommendation?
Believe it or not, we sort of overconsume protein in this country. So seniors do need adequate protein, but not as much as we think. 6 ounces a day of a meat, 3 ounces at lunch, 3 ounces at dinner, really is all you really need. So I would have it's strange to think of it this way, but have your meat almost as your garnish. Like, it's just a little extra thing that you need, but fill up your plate with vegetables and whole grains, rice, pasta, and then have like chicken strips cut up on top of that. But you don't really need a huge steak or a huge chicken breast every meal.
What about us guys that like to have a steak and a baked potato and asparagus? I don't know.
A small portion of asparagus, yeah.
I'm just trying to think of this. Okay, so we should do that. Can we do that once a month?
Absolutely, once a week.
Once a week, okay.
But
good.
on a day-to-day basis.
Not a 14-ounce steak, but an 8-ounce steak.
Right, but day-to-day, you want to be rethinking your plate and having the majority of your plate filled up with the starch, the grain, the vegetable, fruit, things like that, and then your meat portion smaller. And I encourage some people to go meatless one day a week and have beans and rice, things like that are a good source of protein, but we don't need as much protein as we think.
What about the bread?
Bread's great. Bread has a lot of nutrients, a lot of B vitamins.
Really?
And it's a good source of calories.
Yeah. How many calories should we be consuming now per day?
For seniors over the age of 50,
yeah.
If you're not very physically active, for women it's 1,600 calories a day, and for men it's 2,000 calories a day. And if you're more active, like if you're doing a lot of vigorous exercise, then you can add 200 to 400 calories. But the baseline need would be about 1,600 for women and 2,000 for men.
Well, Jessica, thank you so much for being with us. More information, you can always go to the website, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and we can get that information there as well.
Yes, absolutely.
And the website again?
BeHealthy.com.
BeHealthy.com.